been a lot of books written and a lot of studies done into the importance of sleep and rest to our lives and to our well-being. And it can't really be understated that a lack of adequate sleep is behind so many of our difficulties. Just about every single metric that is measurable starts to decline if we don't get enough sleep. A lack of sleep can contribute to all of the mental or emotional disorders that we have. Just about every single one gets worse with disturbed sleep. And also our immune system starts to degrade and our blood sugars gets messed up if we don't have regular and sufficient patterns of rest and sleep. It has been linked to extreme things like cardiovascular disease and Alzheimer's, where sleep has been continuously interrupted or insufficient over time. Quite simply put, a lack of sleep is lethal for us. The phrase sleep hygiene has become popularized, and people have thought a lot about how much we need sleep and also how difficult it is for us to get adequate rest in our hyper-connected and hyper-fast lifestyle that we live. So I want you to consider whether your sleep is optimal, and maybe it could be one of the habits the cornerstone habits that is contributing, and the knock-on effects are being felt in other areas of your wellness. What do you need to reset in terms of your rest and sleep habits? And what do you need to add in? What actions can you take to promote this area of your well-being that is so critical to function? There are a number of great books that have been written about sleep that you can get hold of, and I do always encourage get informed, get inspired by reading some of the science around sleep. And here are just a few things. I'm sure none of these will be new to you, but they are really good as a reminder. To improve the quality of your sleep, plug your phone in downstairs, and also try and avoid the blue light of screens in the hour before you go to sleep. It's really good to have finished eating for the day at 6 or 7 p.m, at least a few hours before bed, so that your digestive system can rest too while you are asleep. Giving yourself a regular bedtime and some triggers around going off to sleep can be a good practice. And if wakefulness or insomnia is a problem for you, then obviously seeking medical help where that's appropriate. But learning some relaxation techniques, improving that mind-body connection, and finding ways that your body can calm your mind down and your mind can calm your body down. That will increase the chances you have of getting back to sleep. So that's our kind of daily rhythms of sleep, but also we need daily rest. As living organisms, we work on rhythms and seasons. And so during the day, our energy, both in terms of our physical energy, but also our mental energy, it peaks and troughs. And it's a bit like if you think of human beings as having gears. We go through a range of first, second, third, fourth, fifth gear and back down again throughout the day. And noticing the levels of our energy and where we can chime in with times when we've got plenty to give and times when we need to hold back is one of the skills for managing our well-being. And it's really important to remember that those times of first gear, those times that are down times throughout the day, are also achieving function for us, because we can become very polarized into being like, I'm on or I'm off. Whereas actually what happens when we're resting is that we digest and we absorb and assimilate information. We might recalibrate, or we might actually do some reflection, which leads to innovation in terms of our mental capacity. So taking out those important down times in our day and just expecting us to be go, go, go all the time actually is dangerous, because it can lead to burnout. So are you allowing yourself sufficient margin in your day? Do you have time at the beginning and the end of the day and at intervals in between to step back and down tools and go outside and take 15 minutes off? And are you blocking out time for things like reflection or reading or just pursuing interests that are easy for you and allow you to drop down into your second and first gear and then ramp up again? And all of this, I mean, it's so obvious how the connections back to our internal world, our eye space, are so important, so vital. Because if we have a healthy view of ourselves, if we have unconditional positive regard, if we have a loving concern for ourselves that allows time and the gift of a relaxed schedule, it can immediately mean that our rest goes up and therefore our all-round efficiency and well-being goes up too. So that's a kind of daily look at rest and sleep. But then we have the weekly pattern too. And over a week, it's consistently shown that we should have times of intense activity and times of rest. And the old principle of Sabbath or having a day off or the Lord's Day throughout the centuries has been consistently something that people groups have embraced as a good rhythm. So 6 days on and 1 day off. And in our modern age, this is a challenge. And if I was to pick one area that I needed to work on in my life, it would be this, having a daily buffer, a weekly buffer of a day of rest. A day where I switch my phone off, a day where I don't do tasks and activities, a day where I engage with myself, my family and loved ones, and a day where I attend to the leisure, the enjoyment pursuits of my life. And then on top of that, layered into our lives, we need seasons of rest. So we need times where we are away, maybe holidays or staycations, times when the diary is just cleared and we are free to focus on whatever comes up and whoever we are with. And I wonder if for you it's difficult to get that extended time of rest, whether you need to think back over your life at holidays you've had and the significance of those moments. I just think that it wouldn't be hard to find significant experiences, relationships that got developed or interests that got formed or just wonderful moments that you've had that are central to who you are now, that were formed in those times of holiday or times of being at rest. And when we remember the gifts that holiday give us, it can help inspire us to block the time out, have the conversation with our boss or shuffle our schedule, release a few expectations if actually taking holidays is really difficult for us. So once we've done that, we've looked at both daily, weekly and seasonal rhythms that are in tune with who we are as people, that promote rest and sleep. And this is a whole section in my wellness map that I invite you to consider and to look at, and if you need to make some decisions right now and maybe make some commitments. Phone a friend, tell them what you're going to do, and set a line in the sand right now that this is a time you will reset your relationship with rest and become healthier and more whole.